My name is Timothy Schmalz. I'm a Catholic sculptor. I've been creating sculptures for more than 27 years, obsessively. I think to do a great piece of artwork, you need a great subject matter. Early on in my artistic career, when I was 19, 20, I stopped doing abstract conceptual artwork that I was being conditioned to create at the schools I was at. I actually went through an artistic conversion where I rejected doing secular installation, trendy artwork, and I became extremely radical, perhaps one of the most radical sculptors in Toronto during the time, because I would just do Christian artwork. What I find fascinating about Christianity as a subject matter for artwork is it's infinite, the amount of creations that you can create directly from the text of the Bible. I find myself actually a visual translator of the Bible, and I like to almost describe my artwork as a translation, a visual translation. And this work specifically, the sculpture on refugees, takes one of the texts from Hebrews 13:2, when it describes that you have to be very nice to strangers and welcoming to strangers, because you never know when amongst those strangers there's an angel in disguise. And as I sculpt, I actually listen to the Old and New Testament. I've been doing this for years. It almost becomes the texture of my studio. I walk in, I walk out, I listen in, and I kind of tune out, depending on my mood, depending on what I'm actually sculpting. But I remember several years ago, it just came to me that this passage would make for a phenomenal sculpture. Angels unaware, the idea that within the stranger is the spiritual and the sacred. I found that just fascinating. I didn't know what to do with it, though. I was holding that text in my hand, and then I kept it, and for years I was playing around with different ideas, different ways that I could translate it visually so people could get it. But it wasn't until I was in Rome having dinner with Father Michael Cherney, and he said to me, "Tim, I want you to think about doing a sculpture specifically on refugees." It all came to me the next day that the angels unaware and the idea of the refugees woven together would make a perfect translation of that text, and would also be a wonderful way of describing the refugee condition or the refugee experience. And so it was an amazing experience to create the piece and to be here in Rome, knowing that Pope Francis will be presented with this sculpture, which I really do personally believe is kind of a visual interpretation of all the care that he has for the refugees. It's almost a symbol of that care, that human life is sacred. And so I am absolutely excited today.